So if you're thinking about doing a podcast, I highly suggest you use Anchor, and here's why. Now, first things first, it's free, and you can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. I'm talking dollar bills, y'all. Plus, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you to the major platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a bunch of others, so that's one less thing you got to worry about. And they got all the tools you need to record and edit your podcast in one spot, and you can do all that from your phone or your computer, so in my opinion, it's really the easiest way to make a podcast. Now, if that's what you're looking for and you're ready to jump on it, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. What up, though? It's your girl, Tamara Dawn, and welcome to Tamara Till the Break of Dawn. Now, first things first, I want to thank y'all for hopping on my train of thought today, because you literally could be doing anything else right now, so I appreciate you tuning in. And before I get too far off into this intro, I definitely want to give a special shout out to my podcast fam. So make sure y'all actually check out them podcast suggestions in the episode note. Last but not least, I want to give a special shout out to Sniper T for this beat, and all his information can be found in the episode notes as well. So, now that we got all that out the way, let's get it. Hey, what up though? All right, so I got some a little bit different for y'all this week. I've been talking about my pod sisters for so long, and so I'm super excited that they're finally on the show. But what it's gonna look like is a little bit different. We got a little podcast happy hour. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to the Rona, because had it not been for her, we would not be bonded the way we are, because we've been doing these little Netflix Zooms and then just Zooms just because. And so we decided to invite y'all into our foolishness, and every month we're going to be on each other's platform. So at the end of the show, I'll let y'all know to look for us for next month. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and let my guests introduce themselves in whatever order they want. Just make sure y'all tell the people what y'all sipping on, which I'll go first real quick. Y'all see my little fancy wine glass? So nice. I got some rum in a wine glass because I'm bougie. Pinky up too. And then shout out to Bring the Mio podcast. They put me on game with putting Mio in your liquor so you don't have all them extra carbs, because y'all know I'm on this Snatch 40s journey and whatnot. And so now that I got me out the way, y'all go ahead and tell the people who you are and what you're drinking. In whatever order you want to go.
I'll go. So this is Jay from Jay's Quick 3. I am drinking a mojito. Not a no-hito, but a mojito.
Is it from the taqueria?
Right, exactly.
So see, they got jokes already, but I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and cook.
Wow.
Go ahead.
All right.
I'm sipping. I'm good. Who's next?
Next up.
Okay,
I guess. Hey. Oh, go ahead, Khris.
Hey guys, this is Khris from Shenanigans with Friends, and this is something that I literally just made. I got into my house like 5 minutes ago, so I was like, what can I like throw together really quick? So I think I'm gonna call this a drunken strawberry lemonade. It has rum, tequila, and pineapple vodka.
Which Khris is like a real bartender.
Right.
Know?
She's the
like
resident bartender.
Yeah.
I really
grew up on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Will tell you
Candy bartending. It's all good.
Yep. I'll make sure all that's in the episode notes. All right. Next up.
Go ahead, Audrey.
This is Audrey from Odd Tales. I am drinking a Coke. As lame as that sounds.
He's a designated driver today.
I am. I'm drinking a Coke.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's your girl Autumn from the Lit Life podcast, and I am actually drinking Verner's ginger ale because I'm on the sick and shunny list. So
yeah,
no, I'm not having a no-hito at the taqueria. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just trying to recover over here and hoping that you was praising Big Rona in the beginning, but I mean it's all good because she did bring us together. But I'm waiting on these test results back. And if that indeed what it is, I'm gonna have a whole nother rant this Friday on the Lit Life podcast. So stay tuned.
Yeah, we hope it ain't that. But besides that part, Rona did bring us together and ice cream, but we won't even get into that right now.
God, no.
So
chocolate eclairs do not exist.
They don't, y'all. Just
Don't start with y'all foolishness today. I don't want to hear it. We already did that whole debate. Y'all took y'all L's.
All right, so Audrey has this imaginary ice cream or whatever, but all right, we gonna keep it moving.
We'll move on.
Because you haven't seen it in the store.
Wait, Tam showed a picture of it.
Thank you. Autumn she saw it in the store too, so I don't know what she's talking about.
I might have been delusional.
Can we just have our mememories, y'all, and just
I even took a picture.
Full disclosure, I also saw it. I just never told y'all.
There you go.
I cannot forgive y'all.
I love it.
This is a safe space.
I love it. All right, so I feel like that's a great segue to Autumn's award. I don't know why, but I just feel like we should go ahead and start with a little something special from her show. So let's get it.
All right. So like Tamara was saying, we have this whole podcast happy hour, and the when coming up with the idea, I said that we probably all should just bring something, maybe a favorite part of each of our shows to the podcast happy hour. And everybody's favorite, if you've never heard the Lit Life podcast, everybody's favorite part of the Lit Life podcast is what we call the Shut the Fuck Up Award. Now, I typically play some music, but I'm not going to do that on Tamara's platform.
Although the song is pretty dope, but
I mean, hear it.
I mean, if y'all want to hear it, I can play it.
Excellent song.
You know what? Go ahead and give them the real. Hold on, y'all.
Hold on. So this how I do it. Yeah, y'all should be good. So here's what I saw. This is what I do. Like, all right, now next up, Shut the Fuck Up Award. Oh, hold on, y'all. Y'all know I'm over here doing the most per usual. Okay, here we go. Shut the fuck up. God damn, nigga. All right.
I love it.
That shit brings me so much joy.
It brings me so much. Y'all know what? I low key want to reach out to the dude. I low key want to like get him on the show. Like he's from Detroit or whatever. And I low key want to get him on the show. But then I'm thinking to myself, like, cause y'all know how folks do. Like, is he gonna be trying to make me pay him to like use the clip? So I don't know. I'm gonna think about that. But anywho, I am still on one. I've been on one all week with this particular Shut the Fuck Up Award that I actually presented on my last week's show because I just can't let it go. I tried to let it go, but I just cannot let it go. So here's this. So y'all already know that we have our top 2 presidential candidates going on right now for the Democratic and Republican Party. Mm-hmm. And we all know that Kamala Harris was chosen to be the vice president, whatever. And everybody has something to say, and that's cool. Everybody has an opinion. That's cool. My problem comes when people are saying, telling people that they shouldn't vote or that they're not voting, and when you ask them why, because of course we all have the right. We have the right to vote. We have the right not to. Right? I get all of that. I personally, I'm not sure how my mental health is going to be able to withstand another 4 years of this dude over in the White House. I just don't know how that's going to work. But I think my biggest problem right now is if I ask you, if you say don't vote, that's really not what our ancestors wanted. that this is not what black people are supposed to be doing, such and such such. And I say, okay, can you tell me how? Can you tell me what it is? You know, tell me what the road is. I do not need you to say you're dumb, you're stupid. You know, I don't, that's not what I'm asked. That's not what I'm here for. That's not what we're here for. So there was this guy, I can't remember his name. He was on Instagram and he has like 20,000 followers, y'all. This black guy, 20,000 followers, and he on there like doing the whole ass go off, like, you're stupid as hell if you sit up here and you think that just this vote and and that's not what we're supposed to be doing and you're dumb. So I'm like, I'm gonna ask him, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, what is it that we should be doing as a people? And I started scrolling through the comments. Thank God I did, because if I would have actually asked him, I don't know what would have happened. My head would have exploded. But some people were asking him the exact same thing, and he's like, "Well, this isn't for you. If you have to ask that question, this isn't for you. Or stop being dumb." And I'm just like,
wait. You know, I always got questions because I need this to make sense.
I don't know if I got an answer, but go ahead.
If I ask that question and you don't have an answer,
right?
Facts.
Like I said, it's all cool to say don't do this, but you got to have a replacement for what you should do and a rationale for why.
Exactly.
He ain't got it, y'all.
And it has to make sense, right? So y'all know. Y'all better be lucky. My hat is not in here, but y'all know that I'm about 7% hotel, 7.5. Okay. So I'm all about doing what needs to be done for us as a people. And I'm not going to lie. Like, I can say that I'm not well versed in political things. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not well versed in a lot of things that has happened to us as a people over all these years. I'm literally just now, maybe over the past few years, kind of opening up a little bit and seeing a little bit more, you know, trying to think beyond just Republican and Democrat, and you know what I'm saying? So I can admit that. So if I am seeking knowledge, so other things he was saying, you need to go watch my other videos. Nigga, you got 80 fucking videos on here. What are you talking about? Can you point me to the right one? And then, so you point me to the video. Are there references there? Because if this is something that you just start talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not going to do me any good. Are there any references? Are there any books? Are these accredited authors? Like, I need all of that. I need it to make sense. And I understand that a lot of the knowledge that we've gotten over the years, just in school or, you know, whatever, college, all this stuff, I understand that it really all is like a trickle down effect. You know what I'm saying? So we may be missing bits and pieces. It's just like when people talk about religion and the Bible, like there may be different pieces that have been lost in the translation to, you know, each generation. I get that too, but I need you to either give me, you know, feed me the knowledge, point me in the right direction or something, or I need you to shut the fuck up and keep it moving, because I don't want to hear it. And everybody that's on Twitter and Instagram retweeting the shit and regrabbing it, them niggas ain't got no answers either. So, all right, that's it. That's all I got. Y'all got anything else? Because that's it.
An answer, it would have been in the post. Like, whoo.
Exactly. Because all he literally did was, I mean, he was literally like, I thought his head was going to explode. He's literally like screaming at the top of his lungs about how dumb and stupid Black people are for voting, for exercising their right to vote, thinking that that's going to change something. I completely understand that just me going to vote And even if the people that I'm voting for are elected in, I understand that that's not going to just change something. But what I do know and what I have seen is the decline of everything, not just the economy, everything, and the rise of racial issues and all of that from when Barack Obama was in office till old boy in Washington is in office right now. So I have seen the decline of that, and I understand that, you know, social media plays a big part, and having video phones and all this stuff. I understand that stuff plays a big part, and that a lot of these things have been going on, but a lot of these folks are feeling real feisty these days. They feeling a lot more feisty than they were, 4 or 5 years ago. So I have definitely seen a change. So that makes me believe that if we have some people in office that may have some good and have some good intentions, that we may be able to see a change, but we have to be able to try to figure out how to hold them accountable. And I know that that's far-fetched as well, but it all starts with local level voting. That I do know.
And that's the thing too. I am not one that necessarily at all agrees that not voting, you know what I mean, is the answer, because especially if you don't have a alternative solution. You can't just tell me don't do this and not tell me what I should do, because then I'm going to just feel like, well, dang, what if I would have voted, could that have made a change? And I think that too, if everyone's not voting, you can't say that voting doesn't help if you're not voting, because you don't really know, because you ain't doing it. You know what I mean? And there's tons of people who don't.
Exactly.
Basically, not voting is voting for the person that you were not voting for, if that makes any sense. Right? So you're not putting a vote where you. Okay, let's just say you don't believe in any of the candidates, right? Like, and I'm not gonna lie. Like right now, I'm that person. I don't really believe in any of the shit.
I think we all are.
But me not voting is basically going in and voting for either one of these motherfuckers. Like, and I don't know what I'm gonna vote for, but I know that I have to be there. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do when I get there, but I'll be there. Like, so but that's basically what not voting is. It's like you're voting for the motherfucker that was trying to deter you from voting in the first place. Like,
exactly, because his people are gonna go vote. So every vote that you don't give, it's not like he's losing votes. His people are gonna come out. So make your decision, I guess.
And if you vote for Kanye, that's a vote for Trump.
Exactly.
If you go and write yourself in, that's a vote for Trump. So I mean what? And I understand too that people really are just feeling kind of hopeless in this era. I get it, I do. But tell me what else can we do? That's my question. Or shut the fuck up.
That part.
There you go.
I think the hopelessness though is even beyond just voting, because look at the economy and you know what I mean, like so many people without jobs, Rona, we don't really know what's what, because I know like my dad, he tested positive after being sick for a while or whatever, and he had symptoms. That's what made them test him. But then it's like my stepmom, she tested positive because of course they were close, but she had no symptoms or like barely. So it's like, I don't understand. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then it's kind of like the whole part where I've heard, and this may or may not be true, but I wouldn't put it past the media or the government or whoever to like, if you die and you happen to have COVID, they just say COVID was the cause. And there's a huge difference between dying with COVID and dying of COVID, because and it's just And then let me not get started on. I'm gonna add an award.
Go ahead. If anybody want to add one, go ahead and add one.
But I'm just thinking the people who, oh my gosh, I see this all over my social media where people are just so anti-mask because, oh, it's infringing upon your rights. And like, let's think about this. Are we really free? How are we free when from the day we're born, we have a social security number, so we're tied to the government? We pay taxes. Didn't nobody ask me if I wanted to pay taxes? Didn't nobody ask me if I wanted to pay towards social security that I may or may not see?
I don't.
Depending, right? I need all my money. Like, I don't want to pay none of these taxes. My check would be hundreds of dollars bigger if y'all wasn't taking my money. So it's like, how are we really free? And then really, like, you crying about a mask. I don't necessarily want to wear a mask, but it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. And if it's potentially saving someone else's life who really can't withstand the virus, because I do believe there probably are people who really are dying from the virus, then why not? You know what I mean? Like, get you a cute mask. Matter of fact, I got masks on my site, merch.
Right.
Link in bio. Like,
plug.
Right. That bit Rona, back up a little bit. You know, it's all kinds of designs on there. So get you a cute mask and like move on with life.
Just keep it moving. And that's my whole thing. And you touched on a great point, because that is a lot of what, it's funny because that's what a lot of people who are not wanting to vote are saying, like, we've never been free. And when I say I get that, I 100% get that, especially as a Black person. We ain't never ever, there's never been a real freedom for us. My thing is, how do we get there? That, so, you know, going back to this guy, like, how do we get there? I understand, because that's something that he would say, you know what I'm saying? Just I just know this, you know, but how do we get there? Because that's his whole thing. We're not free. We need to be, you know, there's other things we need to do to be free. Okay, what the fuck we need to do? I'm trying to be free.
Right. So can I get a copy?
Right.
And speaking real quick on masks, like I said at the beginning of the show, when I said I'm only drinking ginger ale, I'm very sober right now because I have been sick for a week. I went and got a COVID test on Friday. Today is Sunday. I haven't gotten the results back yet. And I have been taking every precaution that I possibly can to not get this. I have not, you know, people who really know me know that I am a traveler. I travel, I do things, I do concerts, I do all types of shit. And I have not done any of that. I've been going through hella withdrawals, sitting in this house going crazy, but I have had a mask on every single place I have gone. But everybody else ain't had no mask on. I'm protecting them from whatever it is that I may have, but they not protecting me. So that if my test results come back and it says that I do have COVID, I just don't even know how I'm gonna, like, I don't even think I'm gonna be able to like log on to social media for a couple of days, because I'm gonna be pissed, because I've taken every single precaution that I can to not endure this disease. And thank God I'm not like dying. You know what I'm saying? Like I have, you know, some symptoms, but not the major symptoms. Like, thank goodness that's not the case with me, but it just pisses me off. So I don't want to hear nothing about people talking about they ain't free because they ain't put no mask on. Because really, I'm about ready to punch everybody in the face who's outside without no damn mask on.
And everybody. If your nose is out of the mask, you're not wearing the mask. Right? Don't wear the mask. Like, I don't understand. That doesn't make me.
It does not belong on your chin. It does not belong hanging from your ear.
Exactly.
If you work in a restaurant or anything, it does not work that way. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't have this to do at all.
Yeah, I saw somebody in Walmart with one over just their mouth, and I immediately thought of you and when you tweeted your disgust with said behavior. But it also is like, it doesn't make sense. And even the signs in the store say mouth and nose covered, so it's kind of like, just do what you're supposed to do. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. That's the law, right? Like, right now, where we live, there's a mask just mandate. So like any indoor place, you have to wear a mask. And it's like, just do it. Otherwise, stay home, because that's just what it is. Do I like wearing masks? No, it was 90-something degrees when we left the house today. It'd be hot. I don't want to wear no mask, but I had to go to the store. I had to do what I had to do. And I already ordered one of my masks. Again, I got cute masks on my site. I already ordered one so that I could advertise, so they could be like, oh, where you get that big Rona? Oh, let me give you the site. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, make
another reason why, and that's another reason why people need to vote, because I wholeheartedly believe, and I would die on this hill, that if we would have voted in anybody but this nigga, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in.
Exactly.
Like it's August and they're just now talking about national mask mandates.
Yeah, because it's not one yet. It's still not a national.
No. So
and now
we left it up to the states, we left it up to this, and they did all these rolling closings and all that. It would not have gone this way. We would at least be halfway outside. We would at least be traveling for work or something at this point. But you got y'all homie, your orange homie, and he has decided. First, he didn't even feel like none of the shit was real. So you know what I'm saying? It's just I'm over it. All right. I'm over it. I'm not over it, but it is what it is.
All right. I feel like, Khris, I know you got a funny, crazy story for us. So let's go ahead and segue to that on a lighter note. Maybe. Hopefully.
So I'm assuming that this is like my contribution to the happy hour, because I guess I always find things that y'all think are weird, but it's like, is it weird? Because it's like, it just be in the headlines and y'all just be scrolling past them. So here's what I got, right? Like, okay, so y'all know like Johnny Depp is like really like having it out, right? Like he's going through some emotions, like he lost some fingertips, like so a lot of things happening with the Pirate of the Caribbean.
Wait. What?
Fingertips. See, this is why we need you, because we don't.
Because I didn't know.
Okay, so like long story short, like he's in like a like a libel lawsuit between him and his ex-wife, because she called him a wife beater or whatever. Turns out she was beating his ass. And then there was like a situation where he said that she like cut off his like fingertip or tried to like sever his fingertip or some shit. But then it turns out that maybe he might have done that to himself. Like, what? Yes. I don't know what's happening with Captain Sparrow. I don't know if the scarves are too tight. I don't know if the he has like 62 bracelets. I don't know if the bracelets like the mercury and like the, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what the bracelets are made out of. I don't know what's happening. I'm not a scientist is what I'm trying to tell y'all. But like so most recently, so his ex-wife, right? So there's been rumors that before him and Amber broke up, Elon Musk, another weirdo, was dating her, or maybe possibly there might have been a like weird white man threesome. I don't know. But turns out per Elon that's not true. And he says that he would never do that. And he waited until they were separated. And then Johnny Depp said, I don't fucking believe you. He called him Elon Mollusk instead of Musk. And then he threatened to take off, literally chop his balls off. And then instead of being like, this man is like emotional, he's going through something, I'm going to, as a billionaire, step back and mind my business. But no, now he has officially challenged him to a cage match. And I am awaiting further details.
Ooh, white man.
Wait.
White man is this quarantine is really tearing down white men. Like it's at the core. I
have questions.
I have lots of. Let's
hear Audrey question.
I'll do my best to try to answer you guys.
Who challenged who now?
Elon Musk has challenged Johnny Depp to a cage match. I don't know if this is going to happen on UFC Island, because you know it's still like 60 rules. So I
wish
don't
y'all
know.
could see Audrey. I really wish y'all could see Audrey right now.
Okay, so a cage match, right?
Yes. I don't know.
What are they doing? Are they boxing? Are they wrestling UFC style? They gonna talk it out?
Aren't both of them a little too not muscly and old? Aren't they too old to be doing any of this? I imagine it's gonna have like mad folding chairs and like fucking like, you know, like glass vases and you know, just shit white people throw at each other, you know, like fucking shoes and CDs. Like I don't know.
Is it gonna be televised? Are they gonna stream it?
That was my next question.
He is just this formal invitation to the cage match. This is fresh, you guys. So I'm giving the news to y'all as I'm hearing it. So hopefully next time we'll have
the one that named his kid RTD2 or whatever 321. Is he the one that
yes, that's Elon.
Yeah.
He owns, is it Tesla?
Yep.
Yes.
That guy. What?
And it's just like he don't have nothing better to do. I just want to be clear that this is where we are now.
You know,
like, it's like you already got this nigga bitch, and he clearly don't want her because they are literally talking about each other terribly literally every 36 hours. They're like saying something else terrible about each other. So like you already have her, like, and I think she's broke now. So like I don't really know if she like.
Wait,
is he? Because he just had a baby. That's his baby mama. Yeah. Is Johnny Depp's ex?
I don't know.
No.
That.
His baby's mama is Grimes, some music artist.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who
Johnny Depp's ex.
But no, Johnny Depp ex is she's Amber Heard. I don't know if do you guys remember the remake of The only thing I ever really can remember her in is she was the girlfriend in that remake they did of The Stepfather. Y'all remember that movie from like the 70s and 80s?
I remember that movie, but I don't remember the remake.
They did a remake. She was the girlfriend that didn't believe the boyfriend, and she ended up paying for it in the end. You know what I'm saying? So whatever. Like but basically that's where we are. Johnny Depp and his 9 digits are possibly about to get into a cage match. Elon Musk. I'm here for it, and I feel like this is something this is like one of those, you know, like in the summertime, Fox just be having like those ridiculous fucking shows, like jump through this hole in the wall. Like I feel like this is what it's gonna be. Like it's gonna be Johnny Depp,
like American Ninja Warrior or something.
Yes, Johnny Depp and Elon in the Chamber of Secrets or some shit. Like that's
wait. Okay, so what was the point of the fingertips thing? Like, what is he trying to accomplish?
I see. That's the thing. So if we believe Johnny, then I think that he was trying to accomplish making Amber look like she's a fucking abuser.
Because I do remember seeing where he said that she was the one really doing it. Yeah.
Wasn't there a recording?
Yep, I remember that. Yeah. I didn't know we were still on that though. I thought that was like she was exposed and it was over.
No, this is still happening. Because now it's a libel thing because like they're saying, well, you can't say that about me, and then I'm saying this about you, and then so they're having like an actual like battle like in the court right now.
See, this
and literally every 36 hours something new comes out, and like it's fucking insane.
See, this is why I wanted you to bring something because I would have never.
And honestly, I was like trying to figure out like I don't really know like because again. These just be topics that I be talking about, so it don't really seem that like outlandish to me. So I was like, I don't know how outlandish y'all want, but I figured 2 middle-aged white men cage fighting,
rich ones, like
rich,
rich. I ain't even rich now, and I still could care less. So I couldn't imagine. I'm about to just go fly off somewhere and ride it better than a Tesla or, you know, whatever.
This man is set up here and cut his fingertip off. And I just cannot even understand what type of drug would make you do that.
Like that's self-harm 10.0. Like that's very concerning, actually.
It's probably all that rum and stuff he be drinking. But listen, like not to like kind of meth be doing that. But listen, so to like kind of be off topic, but like not really. Do y'all notice how this nigga still always talk like Jack Sparrow? Like I almost don't remember what his actual voice sound like no more. Because I'm convinced he is a pirate of the Caribbean profession. Like
oh my God.
That's it though.
So crazy.
That's what I brought y'all.
Thank
that was
you.
A good one.
We appreciate that.
No problem.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm just wait. Y'all know how I am. We got to circle back, okay? Because I want to make it make sense.
It's not. It's not going to.
It's the cage.
It's the truth. It's not. It's. I can't make it make sense, but I can make it be the truth. Like that's all I got.
You're right.
It reminds me. I had now I'm trying to think because I had a cheerleading advisor in high school that one of her fingertips was missing, and it just creeped us all out real bad.
Did she never say anything about it?
So let me.
No, and I never asked.
Don't you feel like if you got 9 fingers, like maybe like I don't know. I feel like that would be part of my intro. Like,
see,
hey, I'm Chris. Like, shark accident.
But listen, real.
Well, that's what Audrey said. Audrey said if you ain't got no teeth, you need to put that in your profile. So.
Give me the story.
But listen,
I'm Chris. I don't have teeth. I got knocked out by Mike Tyson. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, give me a story. Like,
listen, I cut my finger yesterday trying to open something, and it hurt really bad, and it was on accident, and I ain't been right ever since. So, like, I'm real life concerned about him if he really sat there and cut his fingertip off because this thing hurts. Cut bit. I don't want no parts of none of that. I'm like actually worried about him, like his mental health or whatever, because
he's definitely
crazy. Yeah. Okay, we ain't gonna make sense of that. So Jay, what you got for us?
I have the quick one. All right, so let me move my chips out of the way. Sorry.
Oh no.
So
what kind of chips you got over there?
Right, you know
y'all know I do veggie straws.
All right.
Yes, bitch. Why those things so poppin'? They literally taste like nothing and everything at the same fucking time.
That is a great description. Nothing and everything.
Good. These are
like they're good as shit.
I just wouldn't call them chips because they're not exactly.
Yeah.
I said straws. They're straws.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Anyway, look, let me get to my quick. Don't start.
You know, I've been holding back a little bit.
I know
dry, but they're not. If they're not potato,
something about Jay and Audrey and the Sour Patch Kids crew.
Can I get through this first?
Okay, then I'm going to before she cry. Go on and let her get.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jay. I got you. Go ahead.
Excuse me.
No, just go ahead. We sorry. We don't want no problems.
God,
Y'all see how they be treating us?
Oh, here she look.
Because I don't understand how my name came up in the situation. I'm just sitting here chilling.
See how they on the same
I was
side
just referencing. I was just referencing your. Go ahead, Jay.
I'm not doing on the same side of the screen. If y'all could see this, y'all would know that God knew.
Thank goodness camera is in between them. Like,
yeah,
right.
Okay, go ahead, Jay. Yes, we're ready.
Okay. So my quick one is this. So y'all know I just be perusing through the internets, and I was on Instagram. I don't know if this is real or not, but it was a screenshot of a Facebook post. I don't have Facebook. I think Facebook is the devil, so we don't know if this is true. But
I feel you on that one.
So there was a girl that said she dated this guy for like 5 years. They broke up. She says, they realized they were better off being friends. Right?
After 5 years?
Yeah, whatever. I guess I don't know the details.
Okay.
This is what she said. So they break up, right? Fast forward. She's married to someone else. She has a kid. The ex-boyfriend is the godfather of this kid.
Wait.
Go, Chris.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the court stenographer to run it back about 12 seconds. Okay, so the boyfriend of 5 years that is now not the boyfriend, He's the godfather to whose kid? Her new man's kid?
That's the conversation I want to have. So there's no backstory. She just said something like, I don't know. She said something hashtag it can happen.
I need to find the hashtag.
We need that.
It was on my Explorer page on Instagram, so I don't even know if I can find it.
Hold up, I'm gonna do some searching while y'all talk. You said hashtag what?
She don't know what the hashtag is.
I don't remember what the hashtag. It was something like love is love, but it wasn't that. Like just whatever, right? So my question to the group is, do y'all
no?
Absolutely not. Fuck.
Yeah.
No, but I want her. I want her to get the question out. Go ahead, ask the question.
The question is this team too much? Like, is there any scenario where any of your exes would be your godfather, whatever,
first
to
of
your
all,
kid?
I'm gonna let somebody else go first because no.
Hashtag team for much. Like, that's
doing the most.
For what reason? And like, honestly,
was there nobody else available?
Right. Like, is that her only friend?
That's no. Oh, well, pause. It could be because we know how people like to get in relationships and stop and like isolate themselves. So what if this nigga is really her only friend? But honestly, like, can I also be honest in saying that like it's not even like people really get like the actual like process of godparents anymore. So like people don't go to church and like go to this. So this is like probably just a bitch like looking at a nigga like, you want to be my baby's goddaddy? Like so it's not even like it's not even like spiritually binding. Like this is trash.
You know what's wild about godfathers to where hell no would I ever have my ex be my kid's godfather is that my kids, my daughters, someone asked to be their godfather. And kind of to your point about the point of a godparent is it's besides, supporting the child where they're alive. It's like while the parent is alive, it's like you're saying that when I die, you are going to be the one that I trust to care for and look after my kids. And the crazy thing about that is somebody asked to be my daughter's godfather. They like sat them down, talked to them. It was somebody that I was super cool with. But then when they got married, I guess their wife wasn't feeling it, which, you know, I can't tell you, no, you don't do this. You know what I mean? I got to respect it. But then the crazy thing is then y'all know then my kids, the girl's dad was killed. So then it's like, then this is when it's supposed to be your time to shine. And you abandoned that post per se, you know what I mean? And so it's kind of like, how toxic is that to have your ex-boyfriend be your new husband's kid's godfather?
I mean,
what?
This even seems like this is something that she hasn't even spoke to her husband about, because I can't think on any fucking planet or plane where my new husband is allowing any of that. Like,
the picture was her husband and her she was holding the baby and the boyfriend was next to them.
Oh God.
All right, I'm gonna ask.
I can't.
Go ahead.
So you trying to tell me they went to the mall and all took a picture together?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a professional picture.
I'm gonna just ask. I'm gonna just go on and ask.
I already know what she's about to ask.
Were these people of a certain persuasion? They weren't.
They're black, aren't they? They're black, aren't they? I knew it. And you know how I knew it? Because white people still believe in like that spiritual, like godfather, like godparent thing. So like this seems very black. Like I said, it seems like she just texted this nigga like, "Yo, you trying to be my baby goddaddy?" Like,
OMG.
Or like I need y'all to get it.
Or she or they had the conversation after they had sex one night.
Okay.
Because it might be still some shaking there.
I mean, okay, let's go back to this being her only best friend. But if she got a husband, they think he's her new best friend. So we don't really need this nigga no more.
Does her husband know that this is her ex? Like, you know what I mean?
They were in the picture.
Oh yeah, they was on hands and shit. Tamara.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, that don't mean she said we used to date. She could have just said, "This is my best friend, so and so," and because like you said, Khris, I can't fathom any man, like my brother's married. I can't fathom my brother. This would never happen with them. Let me just put that out there for the people that know my younger brother. But I can't fathom my brother being like, yeah, yo ex, who you were with for 5 years, can be the godfather of our child. If anything, I would think the average man would be like, why are you trying to still be friends with this dude? Like,
same with my sister and her husband. Same with my sister and her husband.
Right. Like, I just
if my sister told her husband when they're first born, when my nephew was born, that she wanted Ronnie to be his god, girl, my sister husband everybody would have died that day. It wouldn't even been no kids. It wouldn't have been nobody.
No legacy.
Blew
like
up.
No
nothing. It would have been it would have been null and void. Everything would have been null and void right now.
Oh, I have a follow-up.
So wait, what's the follow-up? Before you do the follow-up, go ahead.
I couldn't tell if they were young. I mean, they look like, I don't know, maybe they're in like their 30s.
So
see, this
I told y'all
also giving me like 21 to 27-year-old vibes.
Yeah,
maybe. Okay. They didn't look old. They didn't look older. They look like maybe 27 to 32. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not good with ages.
No black don't crack, so because none of us look our age, so you don't really know how old they are, to be honest.
True.
But listen, I did find an article, and I don't think it's the same people. It's just ex etiquette. Can you be godfather to your ex's new child? And I'm gonna put it in the episode notes if anybody's interested in reading this. But the question is, my ex and I have been co-parenting our kids for the past 3 years. About a year ago, she married a guy I really like, and that has made things easier because apparently it's important for your ex to like your new husband to make it easier. Okay. So wait. Hold on. This is the good part. Recently, they both asked me to coffee. So they both was in on this, told me my ex was pregnant, and asked me to be their child's godfather. Sounds a little weird to me. What's good ex etiquette? And then in the article, it says, skip a whole bunch of stuff.
This is definitely Caucasian.
But it said, it's not uncommon for new partners to understand the need to interact with your own children, but not your ex's children. Some distinguish between the two, and that could actually upset your well-balanced apple cart. Now, I don't know what the apple cart is, but apparently it needs to be balanced.
Right.
But I think it has to do with kids. So yeah, if you previously have kids with that person, maybe they're just saying you're trying to incorporate that ex because you have kids with them and new kids. Maybe. I don't know. These people didn't have kids. Just had a kid.
My boyfriend has children. We both have terrible exes, and I do not care about either one of them. I don't care about inviting them to dinner. I don't care about inviting them to coffee, to fucking tap water, like nothing.
I mean, even if they weren't terrible, like I guess my thing is, even if they weren't terrible, even if you the guys didn't have a bad breakup or anything, I guess I can maybe see a little bit if everybody had kids together or whatever, but I just don't understand I don't get it. I don't.
Nah.
I don't see why there's not another option there, but I don't know. That's just me. So, guess what? My son ain't got no godmother or father. So
yeah,
my sister is his godmother, which is his aunt. So
no, because I'm thinking about my son's dad. He got married, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago or something. They don't have any more kids, but I just can't imagine his wife being like, we want you to be the godmom of our child that we're about to have, that literally you have nothing to do with. Like nothing. My son is super separate from, and then like she has kids, so it's like I can't. That would never happen. Like, and I would bet all my salary and retirement and everything that would never happen. Nor would I feel comfortable with that. That's like weird. Like,
right.
That's weird. And it's not to say I would ever mistreat anybody's kid, you know what I mean? And that would definitely be my son's sibling. So I love kids, but to like say that if y'all die, going back to what a godparent actually is, I ain't about to take care of your child, your mama, your siblings, like somebody, your best friend. Like, why would you go to your spouse's ex? That's just weird.
It is kind of weird.
No.
What was the follow-up?
Was as far as exes are concerned, now obviously the ones that you hate and y'all broke up on bad terms, you don't want to talk to anymore. But if you are cool with your ex, like where's the cutoff point to where you're like, because you know when you first break up, most of the time you're like, well, if we just broke up because we're just, you know, it didn't work out, we can be friends, let's just whatever. But where does that cut off? When you get another relationship, or do you just cut it off? Are you just like, we're done, I don't want to have anything else to do with you?
I mean, if you're asking me, I never really understand. I see people who break up with their ex and they're still friends and they are, you know, friends forever. I see that. Me personally, I don't see why that's necessary, because we were together for all this time or however long we were together and it didn't work out for whatever reasons it didn't work out. To go back to being friends, I feel like maybe that would be almost starting the cycle over. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, what are you trying to prove? And I'm not saying that you have to be enemies. I'm not saying that you have to hate one another. I'm not saying any of that. But me, I'm the type of person, when it's done and over with, it's done and over with. You go your way, I'll go mine. I wish you well, maybe. And that's that. Like, I'm not that person that's dragging the, it's almost like baggage, almost, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, and again, I've seen people that do it and me looking from the outside looking in, like, do it very well. Me personally, that's not how I do.
So I'll go next. If I'm honest, if I think about, like, I guess my ex, like the girl's dad, he's obviously dead now, but us still being friends after we divorced was not really, like, we weren't friends. It was, I almost want to say entanglement, just to say entanglement and bring that back around.
Oh my God.
But like, if I'm honest, there were times it was weird, still messed around over the years, even though I didn't want to be married to him anymore. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like how I am with anybody that I've either maybe just talked to or whatever, because I haven't technically had any relationships since him. But it's like, if it's not working out, what reason do we have to talk anymore? Now, he and I had a reason because we have 2 daughters together, so we had to co-parent. But it's kind of like, how are you really friends? And like, if you think about, like, we were married, so there was love and all that. If you still love them, how are you friends? And then if you don't love them anymore, why
are you friends?
Yeah, like, what is
right.
And so for me, the cutoff is really when we break up. Like, if I get in a relationship I ain't having no more kids. We have no reason to talk at all if we're not together anymore, because for what?
What's the benefit? Where's the benefit in it?
That's that's weird. But everybody doesn't think that way. But what I see a lot of people do though is they dip back and forth in, the situation, and they still messing with the person to some degree, but you don't want to label, so we're just friends. But do you interact with your other male friends the way you interact with whatever? Would their future girlfriend, spouse, whatever, be cool with them being friends with their ex? You know what I mean? And and what is the point of your friendship? What is the goal? What are y'all doing?
Right.
No, I don't want no parts of that at all. Yeah. That was good. I didn't. Y'all been coming with the stuff today, boy.
Honestly, you ain't got nothing to say
with everybody, but we're not doing that.
I don't have an ex.
You don't have a what?
I don't have exes.
I
don't know them niggas.
Right.
I don't know them niggas.
Wait.
Honestly, Audrey, I am now basically the same at this point.
I don't know any of them. Now you know my fathers.
Hold up, y'all like that meme I saw where it's like, oh, don't you got a baby by, or aren't you so-and-so's baby mama? No, we just share a kid or something like that.
Yeah, basically, no.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay. That was good.
And I got my face on my I don't know these niggas. Where can I?
I'm going to go next just because I feel like whatever Audrey say is probably maybe going to be more serious because of her topic. So my thing, I'm going to ask a question first, and then I'm going to tell you where this came from. So my question that I want y'all to think about as I tell this story, and this is very real in my city. I'm not going to disclose names, though if you live in my city, you probably seen it on Facebook, but I ain't going to put this person out there like that. But my question is, do birds of a feather really flock together? Or are you the same as the people you hang with? Now, why I'm asking that is, earlier this month, I'm just scrolling Facebook, and, Facebook is, my personal Facebook is people I know, you know what I mean? Or whatever. So somebody shared a post, and it was a man who has 2 daughters, and he was very disgusted by the post that he shared. So the post that he shared was by someone well-known in my city that's works in the schools, has worked with kids over the years. She used to apparently be a 2nd grade teacher. And so what she posted is, educators, let's laugh. Okay. Tell me a crazy thing that a former kid has done. I'll start. I had a 2nd grader who used to masturbate every day during math. Something about numbers, LOL. She's a biker chick now, LOL, and go. So then in the comments, somebody was like, whoa, nigga, what? This is just verbatim, y'all. And she said, I really can't make this up, would turn bright ass red when she was almost there. Laughing emoji, face palm. I just let her finish. No need to stop my lesson. Go wash your hands. And then he was like, no, I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh. And the father who posted this was very disgusted because he was like, if this was a man, y'all would be crucifying this dude. That's disgusting. So my question, though, because what I know, I don't know this person. So let me just put that out there. The only thing I know about this person is she's well known in the community for working with youth and doing all this stuff. But I know people who know her, you know what I mean? And so then it made me think of Epstein and how, I don't know if y'all watched the documentary, but I actually, I did recently.
Yeah, I did.
The thing about it was when he died, I remember when he died or was killed, or he committed suicide, whatever with that. But
murder was the case. All right.
Right. But I remember when that happened, and I didn't know anything about him or who he was. I just have seen all the memes where it'll be some serious topic, and then at the end it'll be Epstein didn't kill himself or just whatever. So that's what I remember. I didn't know anything else. And then I watched the documentary, and like I saw celebrities in the documentary that I'm just like, wow, like when this dude had, even if it was dropped down to child prostitution charges, because y'all want to try to not call it what it was, it's child prostitution, not adult. So then after he went to jail for 18 months or whatever it was, you are people like with him at events and all that. And then it's just really making me think, like, why would you hang around somebody like that? Does that mean you're on that too? Or is it something like, because I could see it both ways where, you think about when people kill somebody, they got a family that's like, oh no, I'm surprised he did this or whatever. You believe the best about people. And I'm usually that way, except when it comes to harming children. That's when I just kind of don't, which sounds bad, but it's like I have no grace for you, because it's like kids are the most vulnerable population besides like disabled people or mentally disabled people. So it's kind of like, does this mean that the people who rock with this woman, going back to the original post, does that mean should I be concerned about them too? Or so like, what are y'all thoughts about that when like something comes out like this, not just murder, because that's a little different. This is with kids though. And she did try to come back later, and like somebody reported it to the school district, because she's a counselor in the school. So somebody,
as they should.
Yeah, somebody screenshotted it, because I seen all this in the comments where somebody reported it to their whatever, and they said, thank you for bringing this to our attention. This is being addressed immediately. So we'll see what comes with that. She has since deactivated her Facebook, and the post was shared like so many times, because like when I read it, it made me cringe. And to me, there's like nothing funny about, even if this girl was masturbating every day, like, did you tell a parent? Did you? And then like, I don't care if this happened years ago, it's not funny. Why did you post it like it was haha? And man, y'all know I got a wild sense of humor, but that, I just don't see nothing funny about that. And then she tried to say, where was it? Like, I wasn't watching her finish. I was continuing to focus on the other 28 kids, but you said would turn bright red when she was almost there. So you knew.
Go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say my real issue with, I have hella issues, but I guess the one I want to fucking talk about is like, I totally agree with that dad about like how enraged somebody would be, and people for some reason tend to like let females get away with stuff, and I don't understand it. Like, I don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if so, you would not watch her. I have air quotes right now, guys.
I wish y'all could see. She got air quotes.
And then you told her to go and wash her hands. The problem is that at what point are we addressing it? Because like, that's not normal for a kid. And so now you're telling her to wash her hands. You just basically normalize the fuck out of that. So now every fucking third period, like, now this is why you have a story to tell, because like, you're allowing that shit to happen. Like, like you wouldn't know a routine. Like, you wouldn't know what like how her face looked when it was happening if you weren't allowing it to happen.
Because it's like, something about numbers. Like, she made it like that was her.
Because my class is like, it's the math. It's math.
Yeah. Bruh, if a second grader is masturbating at all,
girl,
something's wrong.
And you bring your stinking ass on Facebook, I don't care how long ago it was,
and not law enforcement, not. You know what I'm saying? Parents, like, we just go straight to Facebook with it.
Like, okay, even if, so I feel like as an educator, and I'm not an educator, and I just couldn't be, and I praise every educator out there because I just couldn't. But even as an educator, I feel I look at them like I would look at like a doctor when it comes, or a nurse when it comes to like HIPAA type things.
See that part too, yeah.
Even with her saying, "Oh, she's a biker chick now," people could connect the dots. People could connect. There may have been people in that second grade class that connected those dots, that have seen this post that has been shared multiple times and can connect those dots. And she putting a post up like, "This is a haha, this is funny." What in your mind makes you think that that's funny? What's funny about that?
And the thing about social media is I'm not even Facebook friends with her because I don't know her. I know of her. So if I saw it, that means, and I saw it because the father that I'm Facebook friends with was disgusted by it. And his post got reported. And then let me give y'all another update, because then in the comments I had to find the other screenshot, because then I started screenshotting stuff because I'm like, I know I'm going to talk about this on a show at some point. So she said, okay, wow, this thing here went to a whole place that it shouldn't. So I will clarify. First off, I'm all for dialogue and seeking clarity. So the person who I saw share it, the father, she tagged him. You could have felt free to message me. Secondly, I haven't worked in a classroom for over 15 years. This quote unquote child is an adult woman that clearly you've kept up with her to know that she's a biker chick. But for reference and background, she was not abused or had any issues. I'm going to go there. Hold on.
Wait a minute.
Let me finish. Because I almost stopped myself. But was deaf in an explorative stage, which her parents were aware of. This was all over 16 years ago, and I would never want to bring harm or damage to any child, especially if they had endured trauma. I deleted the post a while ago, but I'll let you have this today. Let me say this.
It doesn't fucking matter if you deleted it.
First of all,
what do people not fucking understand about the internet? What do people? Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys something that somebody just said on some. Oh, I can't remember. It was just something I just watched, but they said like how like putting shit on the internet is basically like you going to the top of the tallest building in your city and shaking the fuck out of your down feather pillow, and all the fucking feathers fly out and they're everywhere in the city, and then 24 hours later you go outside and be like, I want all those feathers back.
Yeah,
you can't get those, like they're gone. Like you can't, like that. It doesn't matter how many feathers you pick up, like, and that, like, you know what I'm saying, like you got the biggest feather back, like it's fucking everywhere. Like you can't.
How she gonna say you could have DM'd me, bro? You put this post out here with the comments wide open. I don't know if I don't know if they have it on Facebook where you can turn your comments off, but you put it on here with the comments wide open. What the fuck he gonna DM you for? The little girl's parents talking about they knew she was in the explorative stage. I bet they damn did. Because how did she get there?
But here's the thing, though, because while I haven't been a teacher, I did teach high schoolers job skills. So I guess you could say it was a classroom setting, if you want to call me an educator, whatever. I didn't even work for a school, though. I worked for a nonprofit after school program. The HIPAA thing is real, and it's kind of like, you got to be careful with that. You should know there is so many wild things. Anybody who knows me off of social media knows I have the most insane sense of humor. There are things, though Twitter me is different than Facebook me, there are things I still would never put on Twitter because, just like Khris said, you can't get it back. Like, even though she deleted the post, I have screenshots of it. So therefore, this is This was August 7th. This is August 16th, and we still on this. And I've been saving this for this episode. This is what I was gonna bring up to y'all that day we were on the Zoom. Because it's like you can never take that back. And now I try not to judge people, but it's like if I see you, it just is going to make me look at you differently, because going back to the thing, how is that funny? Like, and what second grader? I have 3 kids. All 3 of y'all. I got 3 kids.
Right.
And that has never been anything that has ever happened with any of my kids. I've never heard of me and my friends, because like after this happened, I had talked to my friend about this, because I'm just like, am I tripping, or you know what I mean? Because I was like disgusted by it. I've never heard of this being a normal thing with anybody who isn't sexually abused, because where do you learn that from?
Exactly. That was my exact point.
You don't just naturally masturbate in class in front of other kids. And then it's the whole, like, I can't remember who said this, normalizing this. Like, it shouldn't have been this happened every day, ha ha ha. It was something about numbers. Maybe it might have happened one time, because yes, kids do whatever type of stuff, but that should have been shut down. Shut that shit down. Let's bring that up.
I just think that when I think of children and I think of the word like an explorative stage or whatever, I also know the kids don't like, they get nervous that what people think about the things that they're doing and things like that, and so that just doesn't make sense that the teacher told the parents, and the parents were like, oh, she's just going through something. Like, that just seems like kids don't, like, if they're not sure if it's right or wrong, they are very nervous to like be doing like stuff like that in general public generally. Like,
and what type of freaking girl, I have so many names for this woman, but what type of person, she said she hasn't been an educator for 15 years. You still thinking about this?
Oh wait,
that was going to be my question. Why
hasn't been this girl's teacher for 16 years, but she's actually a counselor at a high school in our area, which is why. And the crazy thing about this is she has all that information on her Facebook page. So it was nothing. And I'm not saying I live a grimy lifestyle, because I don't. But there's a lot of information I don't have on especially in this cancel culture right now. There's a lot of information that I don't have on my Facebook page, such as who my employer is, for that very reason, because the first thing they did was screenshot her post and sent it to the school district that she is currently a counselor at. And then we had a parent in the comments that was like, put a screenshot of her conversation with her daughter, because now she's concerned, like, isn't this a teacher at your school? And she's like, well, no, she's a counselor. I've never had any issues. And you've just caused alarm for a quote unquote joke, trying to be funny and like
trying to go viral.
Of all people, I definitely appreciate humor. Like, y'all.
What was you gonna say, Audrey?
But that ain't funny to me.
What made her post it all of a sudden?
I don't know, because like I said, I don't know this woman personally. I'm not Facebook friends with her. I just know of her, because just in my city, you'll just know of, people who are, I don't want to say popular, but I guess well-known community workers or whatever. But then let's go back to the question. So then do you think that, because I'm sure there's going to be people who are like, oh, well, no, she wouldn't, just like I guess there were with Epstein. You know what I mean? Like, do you think that, like, where do you draw the line? Like, let's say one of your friends posted something like this. Because I'm sorry, if this was my homie, no,
we not homies no more after that. Yeah, first of all, when I tell you I'm a light them up. Bro, you're dumb, stupid, and ignorant, first and foremost. Second of all, you're thinking about this 16 years later. What does that say about you? Like, do you now I have all these other questions. Are you like really just sitting back thinking about this second grader masturbating? The fuck is wrong with you? Have you been to therapy?
Right.
What type of help do you need? you don't need to be around any children, period. Like what I just and the whole thing with Epstein for me was because I didn't know of him, didn't know what he did. I still really don't know what he was doing, like where he got his money from, but whatever.
That part.
The whole thing about him, I just couldn't see how people couldn't how people were flying to this private island that this man owns or occupies or whatever, and they didn't think it was weird that it was these random children around that didn't have any parents there with them. That's the part that did it for me. Like nobody thought that was weird. Nobody.
Yeah. And for me, and I don't even know if I've ever talked about this on the show ever. So I guess here we are. But like for me, like when I was a kid, I was sexually abused. So it's kind of like, for me, things like this are super triggering because it's just like anything that has to do with kids, it's disgusting to me because I know from personal experience, I was not an adult who was like, ooh, I like this. And then it causes so many, ooh, I want to do this. And then it causes so much confusion because one, it's where you don't know how to establish boundaries. So then it's like all of the, I guess we'll just say sleeping around that I did as a teenager, just going along with whatever, had that boundary and not been broken as a child, that probably wouldn't have happened because I'm not on that as an adult now that I've healed. But then on top of that, I'm blaming myself for years later, once I'm really realizing what went down, I'm blaming myself for stuff that I had nothing to do with because I was a child. Like kids cannot give consent because let's be real, your brain, your frontal lobe, where all the critical thinking and all that happens, that's not fully developed until your mid-20s. And so as a child, all of the decisions that you are made are based off of your emotions. So kids cannot really give consent. I don't even care if you're 16, 17, whatever, you're still just going off emotions. You know what I mean? And so for me, when I read that, it literally made me sick to my stomach. And then it just made me think about the people that I know personally that know this woman. And I'm just kind of like, I'm trying not to make judgments, but it's like when you see a post like that, because if I saw it and I'm not her Facebook friend, you probably saw it too, because it was shared a bunch of times. When you saw this, what were your thoughts? Were your thoughts, oh, well, no. And then it's like, how can you look at that and think anything about that is cool? Like,
and I have a perfect example. Like when you, as a child, like all the way down to the foods that we eat, right? How it's hard to break the cycle of the way we eat and the foods that we eat and the way that we eat. So if my mother took me to the ice cream truck and she got me a chocolate eclair,
I do. I love it.
I would probably believe that these things are the most fantastic things, you know what I'm saying, on earth. And I would probably, you know, in the year 2020 would have been on Twitter arguing about how great a chocolate eclair is. You know what I'm saying? So right now. But I mean, it is what am I being real? Am I being real? It's all you get certain things and you're molded. It's like it molds you. So when you experience sexual abuse as a child, even if it's not like these violent type of sexual abuses that you see on TV. Hold on. If it's like it's the persuasive and it's like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do. These are the things that you're supposed to do to people like me. You carry that stuff with you the whole time and while you're growing up. So that's where all of the other things come into play. You know what I'm saying? So man, she really, bruh. So do she still have a job?
I haven't seen the update yet. I just know the last I saw was the screenshot in the comments, because I'm telling you, like, parents, you know what I mean? Something like that when it's someone well known. That's the other thing too, where I taught kids, you have to be careful. Like, even if in some weird way, which in my mind, I don't see what you could see was funny about that. But in some weird way, if you thought that was funny, how could you think and not realize that posting that online was going to go the way that it did? Because even me, like, when I see things not related to this at all, just things related to, you know, racism, like the divide with that, or there's that young boy, I think his name is Cannon Hunted or something, that was killed by a black man, and I see a black man that was arrested. Let's go there. He was already arrested within 24 hours from what I'm understanding. So when I see people say justice for him, what I want to ask is, okay, so he's been arrested and all that good stuff. He will have a trial. He's going to get jail time. Like, he ain't about to get off. Right. So what are you trying to do? And I've seen where people have gone as far as to say his name. And I'm not saying you shouldn't say his name, and I'm not saying that what happened to him was right, because again, anything that like, how the hell can you have an issue with a 5-year-old little boy that I don't care if he's getting on your nerves, walk away. It's a kid.
Right.
You grown man shot this little boy in the head. You deserve whatever you gonna get. But people are trying to make this something that it's not. Oh, where's the outrage? Well, what outrage do we need when this man is going to get justice and his family is going to get, you know, whatever? So many things like that. I want to comment. I want to ask these questions because I'm trying to understand, like, where are you coming from with that? What are you trying to do? What is your goal? What do you not
gonna get on it? You gonna get on that post and ask the question, and they gonna do just like old dude that I was talking about in the beginning. This post ain't for you.
And that's the thing. And so if
you don't understand, it's not for you.
Yeah. So if I can think critically about that for certain things, to where I have to that's why I post on Facebook, but I don't scroll a lot, because it's a mess, and it's people I know. So I want to ask questions. Y'all know me. I'm trying to make it make sense. And then I know that some strange person is going to come on and it's going to be issues. So that's how I think. So I just don't whatever. And there's a lot of stuff that I think, oh, this is kind of funny, not related to kids. Let me just clarify. But I'm like, I don't know. This might be taken the wrong way. So let me not retweet this. Let me not share this. You have to have that type of discernment or wisdom or whatever word you want to fit in for that. You got to have common sense to know that in this day and age where everything goes viral, why would you have posted that? And like, but what about that is funny? That's and then and I'm trying not to like too much judge the people but it just made me start thinking about then Epstein, because there were celebrities that I saw in that documentary rocking with him after he went to jail the first time, and I'm just like, oh, you didn't see, because then I didn't realize the Secretary of State or whatever was the dude who got him that little bogus deal, and I'm like, it blew my mind watching that. And then thinking of some of the celebrities, which it's on, I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but that's where I saw it. So it's the Epstein documentary. I don't even know what it's called. I'll try to put in the episode notes, and y'all just still cool with him. And then it's like, how do the people who know her look at this and not look at her differently? Because I'm sorry, if you my homie and you listening to this, it's a lot of stuff I don't judge, but if you do some funny stuff with kids, hey, I'm going to judge you. I'm going to repent so the Lord will forgive me for judging you, but I'm definitely going to look at you sideways, and I'm definitely not going to trust you around my kids at all. And my kids are practically all grown, but I don't care. That's just that's weird. Yeah.
All right. Well,
so that's the thoughts to ponder.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Pondering.
I've been sitting on that for about a couple weeks at this point almost.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. So Audrey, what you got for us for your confessions of a single parent?
Well, oh shit.
Okay, is that how you feeling, Rona, right now?
I hit my hand. Anyways, can I do the one I just did on my show?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, do what you do.
Okay.
I felt that.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I need a break.
Yep.
So, confessions of a single parent, y'all. I've considered more than once to go outside, mask free, and catch the Rona just so I can quarantine from my children for 14 days. My children are getting on my nerves, y'all. And I just
tell them how old your kids are, just so they can. They don't know.
My oldest will be 15 in 2 weeks. My middle kid just turned 10, and my youngest is 2. He'll be 3 in December. And out of the 3, my middle and my youngest are the ones that want to be around me 24/7. So, you know, for the longest time, no one in Walmart will wear a mask, right? I've literally thought about just, now you have to wear a mask to get inside, right? But I've literally thought about just walking in and just standing or just going down each aisle and just getting in everybody's face, no social distancing, or nothing like that, just to catch the Rona. But listen, you see, they're knocking on the door already. But I don't want like Rona to where I'm gonna die. I just need like a mild case.
She just want
like what I'm experiencing over here, looking like I'm about to
just so my kids can quarantine somewhere else.
You just want a strong cough.
A strong cough. Just so my mom or somebody can take these damn kids and I can quarantine peacefully for 14 days. That's it.
I mean, you could just be like, you got some symptoms and you can go on and get tested, and you know there's a waiting period.
Because you got to quarantine while you're testing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Remember when Autumn said she went to go take the test, and I thought that she said that shit had to be in her nose for 5 minutes.
Oh my god! No, it was literally 5 seconds each nostril.
I would have driven off with that shit in my nose.
Yeah, they made me do both. They made me do both nostrils. She went up. She was like, "All right, I'm gonna count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5." Took it out. Put in another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whole face wet because I'm crying.
Oh my god! They only did.
I mean, it didn't hurt, y'all. I mean, it wasn't like excruciating pain. It really was just uncomfortable. But anyways, to your point, Audrey, maybe that's a way around it.
But I feel you. And my kids are older than your kids, and you're working from home too, right, Audrey?
Yes, unfortunately. Listen, so I got this new job, right? I started June 1st. The training is 8 to 10 weeks. We were supposed to go to Houston. So I was looking forward to going to Houston. I was going to risk it all. Okay. I'll go. You want me to do what? You want me to fly during Rona? I'll be there for 8 to 10 weeks. But then at the last minute, they was like, no, we want to keep everybody safe, blah, 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 blah. So I was just like, damn. So, yeah, trying to work from home. But I can't even really count the oldest because he acts like we don't exist. It's just the other two. And it, I ask the oldest, like, can you watch them while I just like get my life together? And he'll say, yeah, but then he'll go back in his room and just ignore them. So,
but see, here's the thing, because my kids are older than all your kids. Mine are 16 and 18, and that are here. And I've been working home since April something, and we've spent a lot of time together, because if y'all remember, that's when I was in between houses, so we were in that hotel room looking at the same 4 walls all day. I told my boss I did not want to work from home because going to work was my only escape. Like, and I love my kids, they're great, you know what I mean? But I am just so grateful that they both have jobs so that they can go somewhere because they'll come and sit in my room and just look at me while I'm working, and I'm just kind of like, oh, I'm working. Well, I won't say anything.
Listen, I say it all the time. I don't know how y'all do it. A kudos to y'all, because my son,
I'm about to make them make a lemonade stand and just sit outside all damn day.
It's not child labor if they don't make up the idea. If it's not their idea, it's child labor.
Y'all gotta go put in some work around.
It ain't even nobody outside to walk past to get a damn lemonade.
Hey, they ain't in the house.
What I'm gonna suggest. I don't have a 15-year-old, but I have a 11-year-old and a 9-year-old, and like, but they pretty much leave me alone for the most part. Like they both have their own things. The only time they really bother me is when they're having I was about to say a spousal dispute, because that's how they act. But like basically, like whenever they have like a dispute, like then I have to.
Pause for the cause. Pause for the cause. We just had to pause for a minute, y'all.
Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Sorry, somebody was choking in the back. Okay, it's okay. That's what happens when you're smoking. Okay, what was I saying? Oh yes, but here's my suggestion for you, Audrey. Since you say that you asked your 15-year-old, and it definitely seems like he's down to watch them. It's just that he's like 15-year-old, so he wants to be in his own space. I'm gonna suggest that you put a thing on his door, but that you can lock it on the outside. And then like when you say, "Hey, let me get like 30 minutes," and he goes back in his room, then you just throw them in there too, and then you lock the door, and then you.
Got to share that sale. Got to share that sale.
Yeah, 30 minutes. And then you just set a timer for 30 minutes, maybe 35, you know what I'm saying? And then you unlock them.
Listen, if I do that, I'm not unlocking the door until the next day. I'm gonna slide their food under the door.
So you need a break for real.
Listen, gotcha. I haven't had a break. Shit,
you give me Warden vibes, Audrey.
You probably ain't had no break since you went to the wedding.
And I get it. These are my children. They're my responsibility 24/7. But damn, at least the other two were going to school before. Now they're home 24/7. They can't even it's not like I can send them to their little friend's house because I can't send them to their grandma's house. I can't send them to my brother's house. I can't send them to my sister's house because everybody still works. Everybody's being exposed. And it's just like, it just makes me question my entire life. And I honestly just want to go and ask my provider to just remove all my girly parts, because I swear to God, I don't want any more kids. I just can't do this no more. I just, and I don't even really be asking for a lot. Like a lot of times I'm just like, Bray, that's my oldest. Can you just watch them so I can just work? Like I just need a good 8 hours to just work peacefully. And then
maybe 8 is an aggressive goal though. Like maybe
the 35-minute lockup is when you start.
And then increase.
But I'm telling you, I can't do 35 minutes because.
And maybe if you put some incentives in place.
That part.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like does he play video games? Like maybe throw him out a $10 like card or whatever. If he or like things like that. Like, but I'm only giving you have to it's got to be like a punch card. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to watch that for a total of 8 hours to get this this or whatever. So
I mean, it would be a cute little way for him to make some money. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I mean, even if it's I don't know. I mean, I don't know, $10 a day. I don't know. I don't know.
I think a little.
That's a lot.
$10 a day.
Well, but the thing is, when I was younger, I had to watch my younger siblings because my younger two siblings are 12 and 15 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. And I did it because my mom paid me. So it's kind of like I don't even remember how much she paid me, but I just remember she did. So maybe it don't have to be $10 a day. Maybe it's $5 a day, because that's $25 a week. And for somebody who doesn't have bills,
any money,
that's $100 a month,
or no money, like, or a nigga that's poor, like
a damn thing like my little sister. It was like, she's with you. If something happens to her, it's on you. So you're watching her. I'm going to work. See you later. That's how that went.
So money is like, and tell him that people don't always get necessarily paid to watch. Make it sound good. You got to sell it to him.
Yeah.
I mean, and then maybe he'll do better. Or if there's something he wants, even like, oh, if you do this for so many days, you can do this. I'll do this. We'll do this. Somebody gonna do something, because
you'll have enough money to do this.
Yeah.
I know they get older and it's really ridiculous. Like, I really can't wait to kick them out. Like, I get it. Like,
child, I couldn't even get Bear to feed the damn cat. So I couldn't imagine if he had a younger sibling in the house. Like, but
it's horrible. It's ridiculous. So don't be surprised in the group chat if I be like, y'all, I got the Rona. Like, don't be surprised.
Oh my god. All right. Well, this has been our podcast happy hour for the month of August. Before I have everybody tell y'all where you can find them, you definitely should check out their shows. I listen to their shows regularly. You should already know that, because these are the people that I've been talking about when I say my podcast community, friends, sisters, whatever I call them, depending on what's going on. But next month, you can look for the podcast Happy Hour on Autumn Show, which is the Lit Life podcast. So you definitely should check us out there and see what fun stuff we're going to have for next month, because it's definitely not going to be the same topics as this month. But why don't y'all go ahead and tell the people, your show, what y'all talk about, and where they can find you in whatever order you want to go, because I'm going to just let y'all be free.
Okay.
Oh, Khris.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's me, guys. It's Khris. I am the solo host of Shenanigans with Friends. I'll always be talking about white people, so mostly because they be doing crazy shit. But I just try to talk about us too, like as often as I can. So, but anyway, Shenanigans with Friends is like literally everywhere that you can find dope podcasts. You guys can follow me on Instagram at shenanigans_podcast, Facebook at shenanigans podcast, and then Twitter at SWFriendsPod. And then if you guys want to follow my personal on Twitter, it's _Khris. That's _KHRIS. I'm warning you now. Maybe just follow the podcast one first.
Ease into it.
Tell them the bartending one too.
Oh, yes. On Instagram and Facebook, it's KOD Bartending. If you guys are in Vegas or will be in Vegas ever in your life ever again, I understand it's a thing happening. But if you guys happen to be out here, I definitely make drinks. I am a certified cocktail and mixologist. And I'm making pouches and shit. So look at my website or my pages and shit. I'll have links and shit soon. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. So check me out.
Yep. Next up, y'all gotta pick somebody because y'all just
okay. I'll go.
Clearly.
So this is Jay from Jay's Quick 3, and you can find my podcast anywhere besides Pandora, I think, because I'm still on strike because of Autumn.
I appreciate that, sis.
But I don't really do social media, so you can find me on Twitter under my personal one, which is JBoog for show, which is JBoog, the number 4 SHO on Twitter, and then the show has one on Instagram, Jay's Quick 3, all together without the apostrophe, JS Quick, the number 3. And my show is just really, I pick 3 topics randomly. I talk about it, I discuss it. And I invite people to have a conversation with me, whether you agree or disagree. So I talk about everybody, white people, black people, music artists,
all the people.
Name it, news.
I feel like I made that a thing that now we have to say that.
But yeah, so go check me out. And Tam will definitely have that in the show notes because she has everything in the show notes, and I appreciate that. So that's it.
Next up. Come on.
All right, I go.
Lord.
We was looking at each other like that meme with Diddy. All right, so I'm Autumn from the Lit Life podcast. You can find me at Autumn the Aries on Twitter, at Autumn the Aries on Instagram. The podcast has a page on Facebook at Lit Life Podcast, and I have a website, autumnthearies.com. You can also find me on YouTube if you just type in Autumn the Aries, because I ain't got that many streams where they're gonna let me get my own little link yet. You can find me just about everywhere. Any of your favorite podcast streaming platforms. I'd like to send a fuck you to Pandora because they deny me, but if you listen to my show, you'll hear about that. So
relax, like nobody listen to pod. People don't listen to podcasts for real on Pandora. Like, relax yourself.
Like, do anybody listen to anything on Pandora? But anyways, shout out to iHeartRadio because I am there. But anyways, so the Lit Life podcast is I always say it's like it's a show about everything and nothing at the same time. It's really just like I try to just bring this turned up energy, and I have a bunch of dope people that come through, like these ladies that are here on this show today. We talk about just about anything. I really don't do a whole lot of pop culture because I don't really keep up with it. That's why I listen to Shenanigans with Friends, because she give me all of the news. But I talk about my issues and struggles and the good things that are going on with me, and just things going on around us. Got some really great dope things coming up in the future, so I hope that you all tune in. And just like Tamara said, the next podcast happy hour will be September. I think the drop date will be the 18th, but it's going to be a live, so it'll probably be like the Wednesday before, which is on the 16th. It'll stream live to Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, so stay tuned for that. We'll make sure that you guys are up to speed on that.
We're definitely gonna be promoting it. Yep. All right, Audrey.
Hey, this is Audrey from Odd Tales Pod.
I can't.
What am I doing, y'all?
You go ahead.
You got it.
Yeah, y'all just don't want me to be great. Okay. Audrey from Odd Tales Pod. I just talk about my everyday struggles of being a single parent. Just crazy things that's happened in my life. I am on season 3. So if you want to be nosy and see what has happened to me in the last couple of years, go ahead and start with season 1. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Odd Tales Pod. So it's AUDTALES Pod. I'm also doing season 3 live. So you can catch me on Facebook or Twitter every Friday. Don't ask me the time because I don't know. But every Friday I'll be live, and then I'll drop the audio and the YouTube video on Tuesdays.
All right.
Yay.
So that's where y'all can find them. Make sure y'all check them out. Like I said, these are not only my pod sisters, but even before that, I've been listening to their shows. And then, as always, make sure y'all stay safe. Make sure you are wearing a mask when you are out in public, whether you got the Rona
over your nose.
Not. Yeah, over your nose. Make sure, as I always say, you're taking care of your mental health. If you need to take a break, do that. Don't try to be out here, Captain Save the World, and you ain't right. Like, you got to be right first. Physical health, y'all know I'm on that. You will feel so great when you work out. And actually, Autumn is starting a challenge soon.
I knew it was coming.
So I will be definitely
hashtag running for my life.
Yeah. So
as soon as I feel better, y'all. Soon as I feel better,
yeah,
I'm promising y'all that we're having the Running for My Life challenge, and you can get more information about that on the website as well.
Yep, because I'm definitely reminding her not every time I work out, but enough.
It's every time.
Every time.
No, because I don't even tweet every time I work out.
Okay, but we have a group chat.
Yeah, awesome. You're right. Okay. Anyways, and so make sure you're taking care of your physical health, your spiritual health, all that good stuff. And I'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
So first things first, shout out to Sniper T for this beat, and all his information can be found in the episode notes. Now, like I say on social media, I want y'all to interact with me. So here's a few ways you can do that, and the links and whatnot to all these methods are in the episode notes as well. Now, you can leave me a voicemail. Call 720-457-4022. You can email me. Hey, y'all can follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and I'll follow you back. And then you can go ahead and slide in the DMs, just not on no weird stuff. You can also like the Facebook page, and the link on there goes to my email as well. Now, what I need y'all to do is pay attention on my socials for when I ask for feedback for the Thoughts to Ponder episodes that air every other Monday, because the reality is that y'all feedback is what makes those episodes dope. So, leave me a voicemail, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or email me. Just holla at your girl.